How do the Iran war, the E-files, the Trump administration, TPUSA, and UFO disclosure connect? I'm going to show you. A war is launched without congressional authorization. The damage assessments are classified. A drone company tied to the president's son secures an Air Force contract during the war. The contract terms are hidden. The assassination of a prominent activist goes without a public autopsy. The audit of his organization is incomplete. The E-files client list is withheld. UFO files drop with almost perfect timing. And the UFO files contain reports of unexplained objects in the exact region where the president's son are trying to sell drones. This is not a list of separate scandals. They are connected. This is one structure. Let me show you how it works. So on February 28th, the United States launched airstrikes against Iran. The president did not get congressional authorization for this. When the war powers deadline passed, the administration declared hostilities terminated, which is kind of a workaround to avoid having to ask for permission, okay? The public has never seen the classified damage, what's happened in the assessments. The groups like AEI and the Council on Foreign Relations say those assessments tell an entirely different story from the one that we're being told. The story is still hidden. PowerUs is a Florida-based drone company founded in 2025. On April 30th, 2 months into the war, Bloomberg reported that the Air Force agreed to buy interceptor drones from PowerUs. The full terms of that contract have not been disclosed or made public. Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump are on the PowerUs board. They joined through a reverse merger announced on March 8th, just 8 days into the war. The combined company is set to trade under the ticker PUSA. Richard Painter, former White House ethics lawyer, said under President George W. Bush, said, and I quote, "This is the first family of a president making money off a war that he didn't get consent of Congress for." Charlie Kirk was shot on September 10th. ABC News confirmed in December that the public autopsy and ballistics report had not been released. This is a problem. 5 months later, they still have not. Kirk announced a full audit of TPUSA on September 2nd, and then he was killed 8 days later. The audit has not been publicly completed. His wife took over as CEO 8 days after his death. Here is why this matters for the structure. TPUSA is like the social engine of the Trump movement, okay? It organizes young voters, it rallies the base, and it provides ideological cover almost for the administration itself. So the person who ran that engine was killed 8 days after he announced an internal audit of his own organization. The audit never saw the light of day, and I'm betting it probably won't ever, but it's going to come from us. The person who could have explained why it mattered is dead. The same administration that benefits from TPUSA's political infrastructure also presides over the complete absence of answers about its founder's death and the audit that he called for. Okay, this is not a coincidence. This is not a conspiracy. These are the facts. The Department of Justice began releasing e-files in December. 0 arrests. Okay. Marjorie Taylor Greene, a Trump ally, said yesterday, the most transparent administration in history still hasn't released all the e-files or arrested anyone. The client list is still withheld. On May 8th, while all of these questions were still open up for interpretation, the Pentagon released 162 UFO files. The president posted, "Have fun and enjoy." These files contain reports of unidentified objects hovering over the Strait of Hormuz, the same strait where U.S. and Iranian forces are exchanging fire. Viral clips from earlier this year showed strange glowing objects over Iranian cities, including Tehran and Rashet. I don't know if I said that right. Another report described a glowing ball shifting from blue to orange over Karaj minutes before airstrikes. That government has acknowledged that none of these objects have been definitively identified as extraterrestrial. They are unresolved, unidentified. What does PowerUs manufacture? Oh, drones, interceptor drones, designed to defend against Iranian attack drones. The president starts a war. The war creates demand for drones. The president's son owned the drone company. Do you see where I'm going with this? The Pentagon releases UFO files showing mysterious objects in the exact region where PowerUs wants to deploy its technology. If you are a Gulf country and you see strange drones over your airspace, you cannot tell if they are Iranian, American, or something else. Okay, that uncertainty itself creates a demand for drone defense systems. And who is positioned to supply said systems? PowerUs, the Trump sons. Joe Rogan asked, "Why now? Why disclosure now? Other than the Iran war isn't going very well and the American public is very upset, and we get to have some good answers. He was half right. The UFO files are a distraction from the war, but they are also the product launch. Same families, same operatives, same administration, different threads. One structure, war for profit, distraction for power, information controlled at every point. The UFOs are not just a distraction, folks. They are literally the catalog for it. Disclosure is an internal job. Do not look to outside forces to give you disclosure. It is happening, but it is happening from within.